Staff Sergeant Michael was a rock, a pillar of strength and resilience, a man of unwavering strength, both physically and mentally. He led his platoon with a firm hand and a compassionate heart, always balancing authority with empathy. His men respected him deeply. They trusted him with their lives, knowing he would always have their backs. After a grueling 9-month deployment in a distant land, Michael was finally coming home to his loving wife Sarah and his bright-eyed 2-year-old son Ethan, who had grown so much in his absence. Michael had carried their pictures with him every day, a constant reminder of what he was fighting for. He longed to hold them close, to feel their warmth, and to be surrounded by their love once more. He dreamed of Sarah's gentle touch and Ethan's infectious laughter, moments that kept him going through the toughest times. Every letter, every video call, fueled his desire to return to them, making the distance feel a little less daunting. Soon, he would be back in their arms, where he belonged, ready to start a new chapter with his beloved family. The flight back was a blur. Michael's heart pounded with anticipation. He clutched the small toy truck he had bought for Ethan. He imagined Ethan's face lighting up at the sight of it. He yearned to tell Sarah about his experiences, to share his burdens and his triumphs. He pictured their cozy living room, adorned with Sarah's handmade decorations. He could almost smell her famous apple pie baking in the oven. The thought of their loving embrace filled him with a joy so profound it bordered on pain. He was mere hours away from the life he held so dear. As the plane touched down, a wave of unease washed over Michael. His phone was strangely silent. No welcoming text from Sarah, no missed calls. His gut churned with a nameless dread. He tried to shake off the feeling. He told himself she was busy, caught up in the whirlwind of life with a toddler. But the silence was deafening. When he finally arrived at his house, it was eerily still. No lights in the windows, no sounds of Ethan's playful shrieks. The silence was a scream in itself. It was then that he saw the official-looking car parked across the street. His heart plummeted. The next few hours were a blur of flashing lights, hushed voices, and unbearable pain. Sarah and Ethan had been in a car accident, a drunk driver. They hadn't stood a chance. Michael's world shattered. The weight of his loss crushed him, leaving him gasping for air in a sea of despair. He couldn't comprehend how life could be so cruel. How could he have survived the battlefield only to lose everything at home? The pain was unbearable, a physical ache that consumed him. He wanted to scream, to rage, to disappear into the abyss of his grief. News of the tragedy reached Michael's platoon, casting a shadow over their hearts. The men who had faced enemy fire alongside him were now united in grief, their bond stronger than ever. They understood the depths of his pain, having shared countless battles and hardships together. They knew words were futile, but their presence spoke volumes, offering a silent yet powerful comfort. They arrived at his doorstep, a silent wall of support, ready to stand by him through the darkest times. They didn't offer empty platitudes or hollow words. They simply stood with him, their faces etched with empathy and understanding, sharing his sorrow. They brought him food, even though he couldn't eat, knowing that their gesture was more about care than sustenance. They sat with him in silence, their shared grief a tangible presence in the room, a testament to their unbreakable bond. They were his brothers, bound by an unspoken oath to have each other's backs, in war and in peace, through joy and sorrow. Days turned into weeks. The initial shock gave way to a numbing emptiness. Michael moved through life in a daze, his spirit crushed by the weight of his loss. But his platoon never wavered. They were there for him, day in and day out. They helped him sort through Sarah and Ethan's belongings, sharing stories and memories. They took him for walks, the fresh air a welcome distraction from the suffocating grief. They invited him to their homes, surrounding him with the warmth of family, even though his own family was gone. Healing, Michael learned, was not a destination, but a journey. A long, arduous journey with countless setbacks and moments of despair. But with each passing day, the support of his platoon chipped away at the wall of grief that surrounded him. He began to smile again, tentatively at first, then more freely. He started to engage in conversations, sharing memories of Sarah and Ethan, his voice thick with emotion but no longer choked with pain. He realized that by keeping their memory alive, he was honoring their love. The bond forged in the fires of war had been tested once more, this time by the searing heat of grief and loss. But it had not broken. Instead, it had grown even stronger. It had emerged stronger, tempered by shared pain and unwavering support from those who understood. Michael knew he would never truly get over his loss. The memories would linger and the pain would resurface. The scars would always remain, both seen and unseen. But he also knew he was not alone. He had a support system that would never waver. He had his brothers, his comrades, his family. They were his rock, his foundation. They had carried him through his darkest hour, and together, they would face whatever lay ahead, no matter how daunting. For in the crucible of shared experience, they had discovered an unbreakable bond, a connection that could not be severed. A testament to the enduring power of brotherhood and the healing power of human connection, a bond that would last a lifetime.